weather in Seattle today as a sluggish Pacific storm drops rain and howls wind through the canyon called Husky Stadium on Lake Washington. But the UCLA Bruins, beat up and banged up and 4-5 on the year, are here, ready to play against the Washington Huskies, ranked second in the nation with an 8-1 record. Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, Jack Arute, ABC Sports in Seattle for today's matchup. UCLA is a team that has had very good success on this stadium floor. Sean Wills is back to receive the Washington kickoff over the last 15 years in this series. They're 7-1. So the Bruins know how to play up here in the weather. Channing Wiles will kick it off for the Huskies. And the game is on, a low line drive that goes past the receiver through the end zone, and Washington will come out to the 20, defending against the UCLA Bruins. And the Bruins come in with Tommy Maddox, the key man for them. They're beat up. He's 6'4", 190, out of Bedford, Texas, a redshirt freshman who has had a spectacular freshman year, even though he did not start at quarterback in the first game of the season. They line up with Wills at tailback, Brian Brown in there with him, and the wideouts, Scott Miller and Reggie Moore, may prove to be key people before this day is done. UCLA opens the ball game in the shotgun, throwing into a strong wind. The first pass is batted back into Maddox's face by John Cook. That may very well set the tone for this ball game right there, because this bunch of Huskies can really play defense. Offensive up front, UCLA has Nowitzki, Spalding, Zeno, Lynn, Parker. The weights you see there, they're not as big as others. They're nowhere near as big as Washington. Second down and 10 from the 20 for the Bruins as they come out throwing. That's really their only hope, because they cannot run the ball with any effectiveness this season, and they also have not been able to stop the run this season. That's a 5-yard pickup with Sean Wills carrying the ball. Defensively, Washington has Steve Empman, John Cook, and Travis Richardson down. Watch 90 today. He's something. The backers reflected there, and they can all run. That's the key to this whole Washington team. They run. The corners come right up and play the wideouts head up. Look at that. They're looking them right in the eye. They can shake hands, and then they play cover with them. Gideon opens at center for UCLA instead of Zeno, and Tommy Maddox takes off and picks up a first down for UCLA. So it's got to be, if the Bruins are to have success today, Bob Greasy, probably the Tommy Maddox show.
This man right here is the key. The strengths for UCLA are their wide receivers. The redshirt freshman Maddox is going to have to key that offense if they're to win. And for Washington, it's their cornerbacks. Their corners allow Washington to play an attacking style of defense that ranks first in nearly every defensive category in the Pac-10.
Look at that. Everybody's right up on the line of scrimmage, just daring you. Brian Brown, who has become the leading running back for UCLA. Kevin Williams, who had been ticketed late last summer to be their starting tailback, is not even on this trip. He has been missing all season. Don James, who has done a truly remarkable job here in Seattle. He's been here 16 years. He is the dean of the Pac-10 coaches. The second man would be Terry Donahue, who's been at UCLA for 15 seasons. Second down and 7 for the Bruins. The ball is at their own 34, and they are working into a wind gusting up to 20-25 miles an hour. Maddox airs it out for Moore. Intercepted by Tommy Smith on the ricochet. He comes back across midfield, and Washington has it at the UCLA 48-yard line.
Well, the key here, is it's into the wind. This ball is thrown deep down the left side. It's going to be underthrown. Now look from the right side of your screen. Tommy Smith, the free safety, Paul knocks it up in the air. Smith comes by and picks it off, and the first big break goes to Washington. They lead the nation in turnover margin.
Dana Hall was defending on Moore and slapped that ball away. Call it the 47 of UCLA. First down for the Huskies. Mark Brunell drops the football. It's rolling around in the melee, and Washington will keep it. Brunell, the quarterback, never got the snap from Ed Cunningham, the center. Mark Brunell is the left-hander. He's out of Santa Maria, California, and he was a bit of a surprise in winning the job. A lot of people thought Billy Joe Hobart was going to get it, but Brunell at 6'2", 205, a sophomore, just came in and won it. Lewis, of course, is quite a story this year. Greg Lewis has gained 100 yards in all 9 games this season. The wideouts, Bailey and McKay, can fly. The loss on the fumble back to the Washington 49, and the Huskies run it with Lewis. Greg Lewis, who is out of Ingram High School in the Seattle area, knocked out of bounds at the UCLA 45 by Arnold Ale. Now look at the size of this Washington front. Alacoa, Schulberg, Cunningham, Kirkland, and Kennedy, and in particular look at Mr. Kennedy. When you're that big, it's Mr.
You see Washington getting that first interception. It's nothing new for them. They've been doing it all season. They're up to +18 in the turnover margin.
It's 3rd down and 8 now at the 45 of UCLA. And Brunell will throw it. Left-hander throws underneath. Intended for Lewis, trying to set a screen for him. It went through his hands, was almost picked off by the Bruins, but falls away, and Washington will have to kick it.
Ball should have been intercepted, Keith. We just saw on the other side that Washington took advantage of a ball that was in the air. That time Lyons, defensive back for UCLA, had an opportunity to pick it off.
Scott Miller, who was laid up at the beginning of the year, a key member of the UCLA offense, an outstanding wideout, will return the punt. He's a 5th-year senior from El Toro. Kennon Wiles with the wind at his back. And Kenning has a history of kicking it very high. Bruins come after him. He gets it out of there with good spin on it. Miller lets it go, and he knocks it out of bounds. Coffin corner, 3-yard line. Bruins' second possession, no score after a 42-yarder.
Who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America. By Hewlett-Packard LaserJet printers, they'll get you noticed. And by GMAC, helping America put GM quality.
What a beauty of a punt, 42 yards, and knocked it out of bounds on the 3-yard line. UCLA opened the ball game in the shotgun formation, throwing a ball. Let's see what they elect to do now from the 3-yard line.
Take a look at what Washington has done this year defensively. This is in the Pac-10. They lead in every defensive category, every team defensive category. Interceptions, quarterback sacks, total defense, the whole shooting caboodle.
Maddox goes under center, hands the ball to Brian Brown, and Brown will get out to the line of scrimmage, and that'll do it. Here's Roger Twibble.
Thank you very much, Keith. With Ohio State beating Iowa, how does that shape up the Big Ten race? Well, Iowa's still in the driver's seat, but they've got to win their last 2 games against Purdue and Minnesota to go to the Rose Bowl. Ohio State's at Wisconsin next week, then Michigan the 24th. Minnesota with the toughest road. They trail Michigan State at halftime, then they're at Michigan, and then Iowa to finish up the season. Back to Keith.
2nd down and 10, UCLA. Maddox backs up, going to stand in his end zone now. Let's take this snap. Comes from Zeno. Out of the end zone, throws up the middle. The pass is caught, and it's close to a 1st down as Sean LaChapelle, reels it in. He may be a yard shy. I'll tell you what, if you're 4 and 5, you got nothing to lose. You might as well let it all go, and that's exactly what Terry Donahue and Homer Smith are doing right now. And it's not the kind of a day that is particularly suited to throwing the ball. They do play on the rug here in Seattle, though, so the footing will be pretty good. That's Brown, and he may be gone. He's out in front, big hole in the middle, and the UCLA Bruins are going to take the lead. You know what happened today in Iowa City? In Seattle, Washington.
But what happened there, the aggressive style of defense that Washington likes to play got him in trouble. There's nobody in the middle of the field. That's the key right here. These linebackers are covering the two backs. All the other defensive backs are covering somebody. Now he's going to take it right up the middle in the open. Nice draw play, little draw up the middle. The safeties are out doubling on the wide receivers because that's where UCLA likes to throw the football. 88 yards by Brown.
Deluiso for the extra point try. It's good. So a lightning bolt through the gray skies over Seattle. UCLA leads 7-0. The Bruins have now scored in 226 straight games, which is an NCAA record. They have stunned the sellout crowd of 72,000 plus on a rainy day in Seattle. Bino Bryant, number 29, and Tommy Smith, number 15, are the deep people for Washington. And Brad Deluiso will kick it off for the UCLA Bruins, who lead with 10:34 to play in the first quarter. Last score of 7-0.
Keith, that run was 88 yards. That's longer than Washington is normally used to giving up on the ground. Normally only 66 yards per game.
And the Bruins have had a goodly bit of success here in this stadium. The return by Smith out to the 21-yard line.
Take a look at the blocking up front on that touchdown. Watch 39. That's Fraley. He's covering Wills, 37. Wills is going to get a good block. Lynn, 75, with a nice block to the inside. And there's nobody there. Take a look from behind. Look at the hole. 75 is Lynn, takes his man to the inside. The linebacker that was supposed to be covering Brown got blocked, and there's no safety in the center of the field.
So from the 21 now, the Huskers will try to move things along and right the ship from the waters. This is Greg Lewis. And Lewis trying to go for a 10th consecutive game, 100 yards or more. Is slapped down after a 1-yard pickup. The UCLA defensive front, Werner, Onwetrebi, and Walker. The backers are Pfeiffer, Ale, Malone, and Keaton. And obviously, there's names missing there. Yes, they are, because they're dinged up. The secondary is pretty good. So it's not the Bruins that those of you who have followed them are used to seeing there. That ball is tipped, but it is still caught by the tight end, Aaron Pierce, and Pierce is knocked down short of the line of scrimmage. So UCLA now beginning to get a little defensive pressure on Brunell.
Well, Washington is known for throwing screen passes, either to the tight end or the back. They've already tried 2 screen passes in the first 5 minutes of this ball game, and UCLA has played them both very well.
Brian Brown with an 88-yard sprint on the second Washington possession to give UCLA a 7-0 lead at 9:15 to go in the first quarter. It is 3rd down and 10. Brunell hands it away, and Greg Lewis is ruled down at the line of scrimmage. And so the Husky offense and the Husky defense both being stung early on in this first quarter, and we're looking now at a penalty flag and a face mask against UCLA. Probably inadvertent. Gordon Reese, the referee. So let's see if it's inadvertent. It'll not be a first down.
So look at the series. In fact, you mentioned how well UCLA has played up here. That's not normally the case. Southern Cal has a lot of problems coming up here, but UCLA has won one and tied one the last 2 trips to Seattle. So they're not usually that intimidated by the foul weather on them in the playing surface.
I think both teams. Now UCLA has called a timeout.
The question is whether that penalty carries an automatic first down with it. That's what they're upset about.
It was an inadvertent 5-yard penalty. Face mask call. For substituting. The Huskies sending the punt on the UCLA receivers. Well, it's not needed at this point because they took the penalty, not the play, making it 3rd down and 5. And so now everybody had to substitute. Brunel goes down the middle with his pass. It is slapped away. Good coverage by UCLA. Intended for the tight end, Aaron Pierce. And now it is 4th down.
What you're seeing here, Keith, is a UCLA ball club coming on the road, have nothing to lose and everything to gain. How many times have you seen this situation as you look at Miller, the punt returner? Washington, of course, they should be in the same situation. The pressure is off. They've won the Rose Bowl. They've won the Pac-10, but they're still in contention for the national title, and there is some pressure on their side.
And obviously, it's still very early in the first quarter of play. Nonetheless,
they're going to the Rose Bowl. They've won it.
Nonetheless, that's not a very good kick by Channing Wiles, but he gets a good bounce. It is fielded by Scott Miller. And Miller takes a lick as he comes back across the 40. He's knocked out of bounds at the 44. It was with the roll, a 41-yard punt by Wiles, and UCLA has very good field position. The top 10 scores, that's at halftime in Knoxville, with the Irish leading Tennessee by 4. Houston and Texas play later. Colorado, Oklahoma State's giving them a little ball game there, aren't you? The game you saw earlier on ABC with Ohio State upsetting Iowa by 1 in Iowa City. Georgia Tech just scraped by Virginia Tech. Gideon is back in at center for this series as the Bruins come out in the shotgun. Tommy Maddox ducks it off, intended for Brian Brown, and Maddox is laid down. Mark Jones, number 43, put him on his back. Let's pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can identify themselves. Second down and 10. Here's Brown. This time there's no hold. The Huskies, despite that 88-yard burst by Brown, have not changed their defensive strategy at all.
Well, coming into the ball game, Washington led the Pac-10 in rushing defense. In fact, Don James's outfit led the nation in rushing defense. UCLA does not run the football very well, and Homer Rice, the offensive coordinator, is not even trying to run the football. The 88-yard run was on 3rd down out of a shotgun draw play.
Maddox comes up to the center, either to change the snap count or to check and make sure he knew what it was. Lets it go into the wind. Miller down there. Incomplete. And that is good coverage by Mincy, number 1 for the Huskies.
Man-to-man coverage. Maddox with good time gets hit by Inman just as he throws it. Ball was there. Mincy just gets his hand in there. Mincy, probably the most improved defensive player on the Husky squad.
Courtney Kyler is in to punt. Oh, it's a beauty. He just killed it. Into the wind and knocks it through the end zone. Washington will come back to the 20. 55-yard punt. The wind must be kind of swirling around and helping a little bit because that is powerful kick. Monday night on ABC Sports, the NFC East Division rivals will get together. The Washington Redskins trying to stay a game in front of the Philadelphia Eagles. Live coverage at 9 Eastern on ABC's Monday Night Football. 7:45 to go in the first quarter. 7-0, UCLA lead.
Kyler did a nice job, Keith, of just feeling that snap. Getting a punt away was outstanding.
Greg Lewis will be your tailback. Matt Jones is in at the fullback position. Bruins have a 5-man front up there right now. Brunel back to throw it, gets it away, pass is complete. Caught by the flanker McKay, Orlando McKay, and he's up to about the 26-yard line.
Let's go back, take a look at this snap on the punt. The ball was really, Kyler does a nice job of just getting over to catch it. Now he's got to kick it right at Tommy Smith. Not only does a nice job of getting it away, but I think the wind was swirling a little bit. He may have had some of the wind behind him. There's the strengths and weaknesses. We'll get back to that after this play.
Brunel to Lewis. Well, the Bruins have done their homework on Lewis, haven't they?
Sure have. The strength offensively for Washington is that big offensive line of theirs. It's averaging 289 pounds. They number 1 in the rushing category in the Pac-10. For UCLA defensively, they have a real weakness in their defensive line. Their starting defensive line is in LA with injuries. Their 3 starters are a walk-on, a true freshman, and a redshirt freshman.
On third down, Brunel on an option. Won't get it. Number 40, Pfeiffer, Roman Pfeiffer ran him down from the offside, and the Huskers are going to have to punt.
UCLA needed some good things to happen to him early. That's Pierce blocking on Pfeiffer. He sheds the block and makes the tackle. UCLA has got to be encouraged by what they have done so far, coming up here and really throwing the interception on the first offensive series. They've come back strong the next 2.
Miller is back, number 2. Wiles, third punt of the ball game. Wind has quieted down quite a bit now. Weather's tolerable, actually. It's been pretty rough the last couple of days. Miller at the 30. He got a good block back there at the 30, and now there's a penalty flag thrown as Miller is knocked out of bounds, and that might very well be a late hit. It'll be clipping UCLA, I think, instead. All kinds of people rolling out of bounds. Let's see. It is clipping. 42-yard punt. This kind of weather, the temperature is in the high 50s, and one would say, well, the big Washington line will beat on the beat-up Bruins and wear them down eventually, but the weather is a plus factor in that regard for UCLA. Timeout, 5:43 to go, first quarter. See the Huskies in clinching the Rose Bowl spot. Earliest that's anybody done it since 1970, Stanford did it then, and the Roses have been all over this town all week long. So the Bruins on first down set up a screen play for Brian Brown. And Brown from the 21 out to about the 27-yard line where John Cook brings him down. Kind of interesting, Bob Greasy, that we have not called the names much of Entman and Richardson and Fraley and Collins and Jones, the people who have been spearheading this fierce defense. They have been quiet.
Number 90 right there has been an outstanding player, but Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator, has almost had it a basketball game. He's throwing the ball around, not letting that big defensive line get into the ball game.
Second down and 5. Maddox pinned up by Smith. Tommy Smith, the sophomore from Lancaster, California.
Tommy Smith is one of the reasons why Jim Lambright, the defensive coordinator, has turned the front 7 or 8 players on this defense loose because he's the free safety. He has the speed and toughness. If they make a mistake by getting upfield, being aggressive, he can run down whomever might break through.
Third down and 6 for UCLA from their own 25. See the 2 corners drop off now. They throw short instead to Sean Wills, the tailback. Wills is taken down by Fraley and company, and so UCLA will have to punt it away. You do have a flag. Flag is laying back there around the 16-yard line.
Penalty is refused.
They'll turn it down and force UCLA to kick the ball away. Now the wind is into the face of Tyler. There's a big flag located at the open end of the stadium pointing right at him. Vito Bryant, number 29, right there, can fly. He had 2 big punt returns a week ago.
He's second in the nation in punt returns, and he's run 3 back for touchdowns this year.
Another good kick by Kyler. Nobody down to help Bryant. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shirts. 5 white shirts down there to cover him. So UCLA gets downfield in a hurry, and they stop Bryant in his tracks. But even so, still pretty good field position for Washington. The ball resting up at the 38-yard line. Here's Jack Arute.
Keith, you've been talking about the wind throughout the first quarter. Well, we've got a little wind measurement device down here, and we've been measuring it as high as 40 miles an hour. But at specific times, namely in a couple of the kicks, it's died down to nothing. It's swirling in and out and around.
Brunel sets him up, and no back offense. Throws underneath. Stone-fingered. He hit Lewis right on the hands, and it just bounced right out of his hand.
You know, talking about the wind, what Jack was talking about, one of the toughest things for a quarterback to deal with is wind. It's not the cold, it's not the wet ball, but when it is windy, especially when it is gusting, it is just very difficult to deal with.
Second down and 10. Another one underneath. That is incomplete. Washington offense hasn't done a thing.
Not so far in this ball game, but throughout the season, the young Brunel, who is playing his first year for James, has done very well. Brunel came into this ball game. He has not thrown an interception in his last 5 games.
He's over 100 now.
Yeah. 100 passes, 5 games plus.
Third and 10. That's incomplete, intended for Mario Bailey, off his hands too high. And so the Huskies will tango it again. Dropping back. Fourth punt for Channing Wiles in the first quarter.
Scott Miller D.
He's been consistent, 42, 41, 42. Short. Takes a Husky bounce and spins out of bounds down at the 32 of UCLA. At 3:37 to go in the first quarter. 30-yard punt and a 7-0 UCLA lead.
UCLA was coming after that punt, Keith, and almost got it. I think it just tells you a little bit about the attitude of the Bruins coming in and Terry Donahue. They really want to get after this Huskies group and maybe get a big upset.
Bruins stay in the shotgun. Double wide, top of the picture. Gotta let it go and can't do it. Right here, I think, is a good time for us to hear what Jim Lambright told us yesterday about how he was going to defend Maddox.
We're going to treat him just like all the rest of them. We're going to do everything we can to pressure him, try to take advantage of the fact he is a redshirt freshman, try to confuse him as much as we can with multiple man and zone types of looks, and hopefully as soon as we figure out what their game plan is, well, then we'll just adjust ours to compensate for it and go after it.
I think you just saw that too on that last play.
Yes, you did.
Here's that little draw out of the shotgun with Brian Brown, the same kind of move that produced the 88-yard touchdown run and the 7-0 lead for the Bruins, but this time there's nothing there. So you're looking at third down and very long.
You know, Keith, what's amazing about this Washington Huskies defense, they lead the Pac-10 in every defensive category we mentioned, but they lost their outstanding linebacker, James Clifford, for the season early in the year with knee surgery. In fact, he was the leading tackler in the Pac-10 last year.
Third and 14. Maddox's pass is dropped by Sean LaChapelle. It would have been a great catch if Sean could have reeled it in because he was well covered by Walter Bailey. But it's just off his fingers, and the Bruins will punt it. 2:12 remaining in the first quarter. Dean O'Brien had no chance to return the last one. We got movement all over the place. So let's see about the penalty. You can see people ricocheting off each other, bouncing around. Normally, these Pacific storms will go 24 hours, 30 hours, 30, sometimes a little longer, but this one has been just sitting right on top of the Northwest and pouring rain on it, flooding everywhere through the valleys of western Washington.
Dead ball, offside, defense, still 4th down.
So instead of 14, it'll go to 9 now, and they'll still have to punt it. And Huskies up there. Kick is away, kind of a knuckleball into the wind. Bounces sideways, and the Bruins knock it down at the 39 of Washington, 27-yard punt. And here's Jack.
Keith, the sellout crowd today was treated to a very special gift as they came through to the grandstands this afternoon. Each and every fan received a rose commemorative of the Huskies' birth to the Rose Bowl this year. Now, one of the things we did this week is we called the local florist to find out just how many roses have been ordered since they beat Arizona last week. What happened was we found out they've increased orders by 50%.
From the 39-yard line, this is Lewis, caught from behind. Good play by Arnold Ale. Ale, a young man who hasn't played all that much this year, transfer from Notre Dame, coming home, gets a chance to work at the inside backer position and makes a play there.
He had 5 starts 2 years ago as a true freshman at Notre Dame. Sat out last year on the transfer. You know, those roses keep handing out. That's a nice touch. You know, I think Jack Aru meant 30,000, not 30, to the fans here coming in the ballgame.
Brunel back. That's almost picked off.
Washington has not done anything with their first half possessions. In fact, they haven't made a first down, although they've had pretty good field position. The first one on the 47-yard line after the interception, but 3 punts and out each time for Don James's offense.
Well, Brunel is 2 for 8 for 2 yards. 38-yard line. 3rd and 10. Hands on it. The junior from Dallas, Texas. Inside linebacker for UCLA. And at 1:16 to go in the first quarter, we've got another punt.
Defensively, UCLA is playing very well. They are stopping the Bruins, stopping the Huskies on first down, and forcing Brunel to beat him, and so far he is not having that good a game.
How many times can you remember seeing 8 punts in the first quarter?
Not very often, but the weather has something to do with it.
Well, there'll be no return. The ball's going to trickle dead just inside the UCLA 32-yard line. Well, tonight's the night. Discovery of Laura Palmer's killer on Twin Peaks. This is the Twin Peaks I guess you've been waiting for after the Young Riders in China Beach. Tonight on ABC. First down for the Bruins from the 32. This time Maddox under center. hands the ball off. Good run by Kevin Smith. So Smith, who has blossomed as one of the better running backs in the UCLA camp this year, 240-pound junior out of Oakland, rumbles for a first down.
Charlie Smith got his opportunity to start because of injuries, was not the starter at the beginning of the year. So many of these Bruins just knocks the fields out of the way. And a nice run. Smith, the son of Charlie Smith, who was a Raider running back in the 70s.
At the Husky 45, first down Bruins. Maddox goes underneath with it. Pass is caught by Kevin Smith, and he's held up at the Husky 39-yard line.
Well, the key matchup today for UCLA is going to be that man right there. Tommy Maddox, the redshirt freshman, he's going to have a good game. He leads the Pac-10 in total offense, and for them to win, he's got to play well. Fraley, the linebacker, sets up that defense. He is a very aggressive, very good linebacker, second in team tackles. That defense allows him to shake free and sack the quarterback and cover backs man-to-man. He's a big play linebacker.
The first quarter is over. Now we'll see young Mr. Maddox with the wind at his back, leading 7-0. Nothing. Now with Maddox operating with the wind at his back, let's see what happens. Drills that into Brian Brown. He makes the catch for a first down just inside the Washington 35.
Passing to Brian Brown.
Well, Tennessee has gone to the lead over Notre Dame in the third quarter, 13-10. I thought there'd be more scoring in that ball game. What with Tennessee's speed, but Ismail. You talk about Tennessee's speed, and then you talk about a rocket.
Yeah, a lot of speed playing on a fast surface at Tennessee.
First down, UCLA trying to follow Ohio State. The Buckeyes beat Iowa in our first game today. Big play by the Husky defense. Sean Wills is taken down with authority. 58 did it. That's Travis Richardson of Palcoa.
Well, we talked about the aggressive style of defense. Everybody up in your face for Washington. Look at all the guys up here. Look at all the men. 9 guys. Here's Travis Richardson right here. He's just going to slant, get in, and make the big play. Sometimes they'll pull out of that. Sometimes they stay up in it.
Travis Richardson, number 58. Maddox back. They got him. It's Edmond. Steve Edmond had him by the foot. Jerked it out from under him. Stretched him out and he couldn't make the throw. So the Huskies getting in trouble. The defense rises up.
Edmond came into the game. That's to him number 90, working on 75, Lynn. He came into the game with 6 quarterback sacks. He is relentless. Just a sophomore. The coaches say he is an outstanding player. Will probably be all Pac-10 this year.
Ball is now all the way back at the 45. It is third down and 21. That snap was almost high. The pass is thrown complete to Sean Wills, but Wills is able to get only to the 39, and the Bruins will have to give it up. So Richardson and Impman, 2 of the 3 down linemen for Washington, make big defensive plays.
The Huskies have 4 players in the top 10 of the Pac-10 in tackles for losses. And each of them have over 10 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. They are a very aggressive defense.
Mincy drops back to receive the UCLA punt for the Huskies. Tyler gets it away, and Minson lets it go, and it takes a Bruin bounce, and they'll kill it just inside the 5-yard line. So Kyler knocks a 9-iron dead at the 5. Had a bitter loss down to Eugene, Oregon last week. Washington ranked number 2 in the nation, undefeated in the conference, locked up the Rose Bowl, rolling along, kicking everybody sideways. The Bruins played them to a standstill to lead them 7-0 in the first quarter. But as we start the second quarter of play with Washington's first possession in this period, the Huskies blow that thing out of there with Greg Lewis cutting it off tackle, moving out across the 10 for about 6 yards.
And Lewis has been their man. Take a look at the first quarter stats. Washington, a pretty good offense. They have total yardage, only 8 yards total offense. 6 of it is rushing. And that is the story of this ball game so far.
That was an 8-yard pickup by Lewis there, far and away their biggest gain of the ball game. And this is the fullback, Darius Turner. And Turner will have a first down for the Huskies out across the 20 at the 23. So they show a little muscle for the first time in the ball game.
Well, the Washington offense is built around their rushing game with Darius Turner and also Greg Lewis. They're averaging 255 yards each game on the ground. And that's the way they set up.
You can see Turner's reaction there after the run. They're starting to yell a little bit.
Well, they're trying to get him fired up.
Jack him up. This is Lewis. Lewis is hit by Shaw. Beats Shaw, number 53 for the Bruins. Picks him off at the 25-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards on the play. Bailey and McKay, the two wideouts for Washington, not particularly big people, they can both run. And they're running as a tandem right now. You're seeing them line up together.
Well, that's one of the things that Don James did a couple of years ago. He said, we need more speed. And those two guys are on the track team at Washington.
He now splits them. They go to the respective side of the field, and this is Greg Lewis breaking it back. First down Huskies, 43-yard line, brought down by Eric Turner. Meets Shaw hurt on the play.
Just a simple toss, straight blocking up front. Straight toss to the left side, the tight end. Pierce is going to get a good hook block. That's Kirkland, number 51 on Argo. Doesn't do much, but just gets in his way. And Lewis says you need more than that to make the tackle. Breaks 2 tackles and gets UCLA, gets the Huskies out to the UCLA near the 50-yard line. Pete Shaw, number 53, is the man that's going to be hurt.
He's trotting off the field right now, though. All right. In the meantime, Greg Lewis has gone off the field. He left limping, and Bino Bryant has replaced him at tailback for Washington. There's Lewis on the sideline.
Don't lose that man right there. He has been outstanding this year.
Bryant, however, is faster. Not as big and not as experienced, but he can run. He's got it. Squirts through there for 3 yards on the first down play. 10:25 to go in the first half. UCLA continues to lead 7-0 now in Brian Brown's 88-yard sprint up the middle of the field. This is the first time in the ball game that the Washington offense has shown any life.
They've punted the first 5 times they've had the football.
Second down and 7 from the 46. Brunel underneath. Ball dropped by the fullback Turner. He was setting up a screen. He had pulled Dean Kirkland, 51, and Schulberg, 76, were both out there in front. They had him set up. Lincoln Kennedy. Kennedy's the big sophomore at 315 pounds. They were out there ready to lead the screen, but Turner dropped the ball.
Well, look at Lewis. Can't tell yet how bad it is, although with the guys going over there talking to him, it doesn't look like it's too good. Screen pass. They like to throw a lot of screens. Turner only caught 3 passes, though, coming into the ball game.
An upset building there with Southern Miss and Auburn. You got 4 wideouts. Throw up the middle for Brunel, the quarterback, who's got a first down at the UCLA 40. Eric Turner hauled him in. So the Husky offense defense now continues to move it, and here's Jack.
Keith, we checked on the condition of Lewis, and what the situation is they've got his knee, and they're wrapping it. The left knee, they've actually put a wrapping around it, because the situation is they feel that he may have hyperextended it. They're going to hold him out for about 3 sets of downs, and then maybe let him play a little bit more.
From the 40, first down, Husky. Takes a pretty good lick right at the line of scrimmage from Arnold Ali. Ali, a sophomore from Carson, California, weighs in at 220 pounds. Gain 3 yards, 2.5. Second down, 7.5, 8. Down the line, quarterback keeps it. That'll work to the 33 before Rosine Keaton makes the tackle for UCLA. 55 right there. The point is, Washington's moving the ball, but the Bruins are making them do it in small bites.
Right. Look at Mark Brunell, what he's done rushing the football. 390 yards, 8 touchdowns this year. He is the best running quarterback, most productive in the Pac-10.
Bryant. Bruins stack up that big Husky line again. Bryant is down to the 30. The ball comes loose, and Ale wrapping around, trying to get a hold of it. But man is down on the ground, and you don't get the loose ball after he's hit the ground. But I'm impressed, Bob, the way they have stacked up that big old Husky front wall.
Ale is playing a big factor in the middle of that defense.
First down for Washington. Vino Bryant. Roman Pfeiffer, number 40, involved in the tackle.
Here's a look at some of the offensive power that the Huskies have had this year in the Pac-10. They lead in total offense, rushing, scoring, the fewest quarterback sacks, and they don't give the ball away very often. They are 7th in the Pac-10 in throwing the football, but that has been mostly because they've been so far ahead they have not had to throw it in the 3rd and 4th quarters.
Bryant with his 5th carry. Boy, he's taken down in a hurry. Ale was the first man to get there, and Malone came right along with him, and there's a penalty flag down. And on the 4 previous carries by Bryant, he had gained 3 yards each time. That time he got 1. And holding call goes against Washington. So the Huskies make a big mistake here when it looked like they were going to get themselves in position to do something. That's our halftime schedule for you. The bowl picture now is beginning to take some shape. And of course, the Purple Rain. Go back to the 60s when the Huskies helped turn things around for the West Coast teams in the Rose Bowl. They called them the Purple Gang. Then you had the Purple Haze. Now you got the Purple Rain.
It's the defense. They really talked about that defense of the Huskies as the Purple Rain. Everybody wants to name the defense. Why don't they name the offense?
Tennessee has gone back to the lead in the seesaw ball game in Knoxville. Ball comes back to the 37-yard line, where it is 2nd down and 17 for Washington. Brunell has good protection and just simply couldn't hit his man. He had number 8 streaking down the middle, Mark Jones, on a crossing pattern, and Jones was available, but the ball slipped right out of the quarterback's hand. It has been raining off and on all day today. And even though right now it is quite bright and is not apparently raining, it is still wet down on the rug. Brunell is now 2 of 11. He has missed 6 straight passes. a tight end. Pierce down the pipe, and Pierce hauls it in. First down for the Huskies at the 14 of UCLA. Aaron Pierce, the junior from Seattle.
Well, here's Pierce right here. The tight end going to go right down the field. The safety will go away from him. Brunell, the freshman quarterback, will see this and dump it right over the linebacker's head and in between the other safety. Good throw. There's Pierce hanging on as Darby gets the tackle.
Bryant is the tailback. Brunell goes down the line, pitches it to Bino, turns it, runs into three white shirts, and stops. Pfeiffer and Turner, the principal tackler.
You know, Keith, we've shown the viewers how good offensively Washington's offense has done this year. We've not put up any numbers for UCLA because really they're not that great. One thing I'll tell you is that against the run this year in the Pac-10, UCLA has been the second worst defense in stopping the run. Today they've done an outstanding job against a team that leads the Pac-10 in rushing the football.
This is the 15th play of this possession for Washington. Second down and 9. Fullback Turner inside the 5. First and goal, Huskies at the 3.
The ball carrier. A gate of
89 Ole is blitzing, so is Pfeiffer. Just a good run by Turner. Doesn't get an opportunity to carry the ball a whole lot. Coming into the ball game, only 133 yards and a 3.6 average on the year. But a big, as you see, Ale coming off the field. He's been bothered by injuries most of the season.
The whole team.
first down. Goal
You're right.
Teamed up at one time or another.
Washington has been very successful scoring, putting points on the board when they get inside the 20.
First and goal, Huskies, UCLA 3. Bruins lead 7-0. Bino Bryant. Stopped just short.
Bino Bryant, the ball carrier. Gain of more than 2 yards.
Bino is not a big guy. He's 5'11", but weighs only 175 pounds and has really made his mark this year on the special teams, running 3 punts back for touchdowns.
Second and goal. Turner stopped at the top of the stack. Number 92 was there at the top to get him. Matt Werner.
Just tough defense by UCLA. No movement up front, and then the linebackers come across.
Third down.
That's Meet Shaw, number 53. Almost losing the football.
Third and goal. Brunell keeps it. He can walk in. Touchdown, Huskies. A penalty flag. Against the Bruins. Personal foul. Plays, 95 yards, 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Could be a backbreaker.
It's a big-time drive right there.
Could be a backbreaker.
Touchdown counts. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense will be assessed on the kickoff.
Huskies will go now for the point. That is Brunell's 9th rushing touchdown of the season. So that Husky quarterback is a, quote, running back. Numbers show it. Travis Hansen, freshman out of Spokane, Washington, knocks it through. 4:19 to go in the first half, and we're even at 7. Today in the Pac-10, California bidding for a bowl game against Oregon. Oregon had their big shot maybe last week and beating UCLA. They got dinged up a little bit. Arizona State trying to beat the Cougars over in Pullman. Washington State will be the opposition for the Huskies next week. That's Sean Wills back.
Cal may be the surprise team in the Pac-10.
I think Cal's fun to watch.
Yeah.
They really are. They're a very good football team. And they're just fun to watch. They do things. Bruce Snyder done a heck of a job restoring order at Berkeley. Certainly Rich Brooks to be congratulated on the season he's had at Eugene, University of Oregon. I think both Cal and Oregon wind up in bowl. Pac-10 probably going to wind up, what, 4 teams in bowl game?
At least. I would think at least.
Yeah.
You got Oregon, Washington, Southern Cal,
California. After the 15-yard personal foul penalty, move it up to midfield for the kick. Knocks it into the corner. That'll come out to the 20-yard line. Let's go to New York and Roger Twyford.
Well, thank you, Keith. It was homecoming in Auburn. They've been hanging on by just their fingernails all year. And Brett Favre of Southern Miss hits Anthony Harris for the touchdown. That put him up 13-12 with less than a minute to go, and that's how it ends. Southern Miss finishes 8-3 on the year. Curly Hallman's team, their 3 losses by just 8 points. Keith?
There will be no dancing at Toomer's Corner tonight. Bruins with the wind at the back from the 20, first down, shotgun, Maddox fakes it, keeps it, sets it, throws it, batted away, incomplete.
Tommy Maddox's pass intended for Reggie
With
Moore.
4:13 to play and the wind at his back, now would be a very good time for the Bruins maybe to go deep.
Well, the thing he is not doing is making the critical mistake that's really going to break the back of the UCLA Bruins. That offensive line that he is behind is battered and bruised. There's some injuries that we'll get to in a minute. What they're doing is checking off, and they're making sure they're passing it along the offensive line. You see all the heads turning.
That's the center's responsibility. Gideon did it. They run it with Sean Wills. And Wills will get just about the 25. Briscoe, Eric Briscoe was the man that hit him. Briscoe listed as being from Fort Lee, New Jersey, though in fact he was born in California.
He leads this team in interceptions with 6. And he's had a fumble recovery that he's returned for a touchdown. He is the big play guy in that secondary.
3rd down and 5. Down the pipe, Moore. Got to have a first down on the play. Reggie Moore gets it up close to the 38-yard line. 2 years ago, we were up here to do a UCLA-Washington game. Troy Aikman hit a young Moore that day at 1:22 to play in the game, and he took it 48 yards for the winning touchdown.
Maddox continues to impress by not being intimidated by that front 11 up there, threatening to blitz, dropping off. Just wades through it, completes passes.
This time the Huskies drop. And he throws it sideways to Sean Wills. And Wills is tackled by Eric Briscoe. This has been a seasoning year for Maddox that may make him one of the premier quarterbacks in the country by the middle of next season.
Well, he didn't start the first 2 games. Jimmy Bonds did. Brett Johnson was the returning quarterback from last year. Maddox took over in the 3rd game and started the last 7. And as you see, leads the Pac-10 in total offense.
It is 2nd down and 5 for UCLA. A 7-7 tie, and one of the Huskies got caught in the neutral zone. Offside. The Bruins, with a pass complete to Moore, will want the play, I would think. Moore went down, the ball came out, but they're going to call him down at the 41-yard line. Number 48, Donald Jones, was the man who, trying to anticipate, got caught on the snap.
Well, UCLA has a safety net here because Washington was offsides. If they recovered the ball, they'll keep the play because they'll cross the 50-yard line.
The linesman called him down.
Offside, defense, penalty is refused. First down.
Bruins ball, Husky 41. Daloiso's got a pretty good leg. The Bruins rooting the ball down the field, trying to get a halftime edge over the Huskies. Staying in the shotgun. LaChapelle goes down the middle. And the pass is caught by number 88. It's one of the things he's going to have to get a little better at. That's looking people off his target.
He's just young, and sometimes, though, Keith, sometimes you'll have an option route, and you'll have a receiver that can break either way, and you just say, well, I'm going to look at him all the way because he can go either way. Other times, you read the field, I'm going to throw to the right if it's open, or I'm going to throw to the left. And sometimes you need to look at him, but other times, obviously not.
Should be a little short of the first down, and it is. 1:50 to go in the first half. 7-7 tie.
UCLA offensively is doing just what they wanted. They're setting up, showing pass, running the shotgun, and they're getting some good rushing yardage because they're playing a passing game first and a run game second. They're forcing Washington defensively to spread out and play the pass first, and they're getting some yardage on the ground.
The big score in the Big Ten today was Ohio State at Iowa City beating the Hawkeyes and stalling Iowa's Rose Bowl game. They play Purdue next week at Iowa City. Now the Hawkeyes have got to beat Purdue and Minnesota now, and Minnesota game is on the road in order to clinch the Rose Bowl. Second down and a half a yard, and that will do it for UCLA. The ball will be marked just about the 30 for the Bruins. Time remaining, 1:39 in the first half. Harry Donahue starting to get a little heat in Westwood. The Daily Bruin wants him fired. Of course, student newspapers want to fire the world. A couple of years ago, up here in Seattle, they were all over Don James. And the sports writers, I understand, on the poll earlier this fall, voted James the most overrated coach in the league. I know a lot of coaches that like to be that overrated.
Well, they're overrated because he doesn't come out and toot his own horn and try to get all the publicity. James only took the Huskies to 8 straight bowl games, and 2 years ago was the first year they hadn't gone. Had them back in a bowl last year, and they're going to be on January 1 in the Rose Bowl this year. What have you done for me lately, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll tell you right now, in my opinion, if Harry Donahue were to quit college football, it would be college football's luck.
That's for sure.
Draw play, Maddox. Didn't do much. John Cook, the middle guard, number 93 for the Huskies, just stayed right at home and brought him down after a yard or so. 1 minute now, showing. Seven tie. Woods letting the clock go. Knocked out of Maddox's hand. And Briscoe couldn't recover in time to peel back and get it. UCLA covers it. 30 seconds to go in the first half. And UCLA now, got to talk about it, on 3rd and long coming up. John Brown, 88-yard run up the middle to put UCLA on top 7-0. The Huskies came back with an 18-play march. Brunell walked it in, and we're even at 7. It's 3rd down and 16 for UCLA at the Washington 21-yard line. Tommy Maddox pass goes down the middle. Pass to Scott Miller. Miller is knocked down at the 8. Time remaining 22 seconds. That's good for a first down. Clock stops while they move the chains. It's first and goal, UCLA. Bruins are up to the line in a hurry. As soon as they plunk the chain down and wind the clock, they're ready to go. No huddle for UCLA. Ball going to be snapped right at the 9-yard line. Maddox throws. Pass is caught at the 1 by Scott Miller. Seconds showing. Why would they stop the clock? Did UCLA call time? Yes, they did. 7 seconds. Bruins have no more timeouts, but with 7 seconds, you may not have time to use it.
All they had was each other.
Are we men or are we mice?
We're mice!
And a promise to stand by one another.
We're 7 now. Lucky 7.
Then one day...
It's coming!
They discovered It. From Stephen King's bestseller, It, starting Sunday, November 18th.
The biggest names in men's tennis take center court in a $500,000 showdown. Tots presents the Tennis Shootout tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Tommy Maddox has hit 7 passes in a row, 13 out of 19 for 112 yards. You've got 7 ticks remaining on the first half clock in a 7-7 tie in Seattle.
The man calling the play is upstairs, Homer Rice, the new offensive coordinator. Homer Smith, excuse me. Homer Smith. And, 7 seconds to go. If you run the football, you better have a good play because you need to get in the end zone. The clock will run out before you have a chance.
They're going to run. They're going to run. Either that or they're going to throw to a tight end because they took the wideouts out of the ballgame.
Well, you can still throw the ball, play action.
Well, you've got great receivers. There's Corin Anthony for one. He's in the lineup.
I think they're going to throw it. Play action pass.
Yep. There it is. Touchdown. And it goes to Corin Anthony.
To the right of your screen, number 90. Austin, 95, will go downfield, and then he just slides out to his left. There's really 2 receivers open, but Anthony is the easiest to get the ball to.
And so the UCLA Bruins untie it with 2 seconds to go in the first half. UCLA tight ends historically have been outstanding pass receivers. And Anthony, who's labored a lot this season with the various injuries, is a particularly good one.
Well, it seems like they've de-emphasized the tight end this year. A lot more balls going to the wide receivers than going to the tight ends.
The touchdown counts. Offside defense will be penalized on a kickoff.
That was what Terry was running down the sidelines about. I guess he saw the yellow flag. It's of little consequence at this particular juncture, a 5-yard penalty on the kickoff. Right now, the extra point is what is of considerable importance. Brad Daloiso is your place kicker. In the first quarter of play, there were 11 different possessions, 8 punts. In the second quarter, 3 possessions. Mainly because of that 8-minute and 10-second drive that Washington put together.
They were all 3 plays and out in the first quarter, and in the second quarter, you had some long drives.
Well, we have a full-blown conference of the officials, the coaches, and players based on a question that UCLA has raised here.
Then will be refused. The touchdown count.
The half is over. There's no time remaining on the clock.
That's what they were talking about, was the timing.
But they're entitled to the extra point kick. The wind is blowing so the ball was snapped back. It had no zip on it, and Maddox gets up kind of gimpy after throwing the pass.
That's the problem with having your starting quarterback in a position to hold the football. But you're right, Keith. The wind actually affected the snap of that ball. That's how hard it was blowing. Number 46 is Jones, Don Jones.
No.
He just throws the ball. He does a smart thing. Maybe something's going to happen. Look at
Brett Collins, 46. He nailed it. Stuck his helmet right in on that
46,
hip bone.
yeah.
The Bruins now, having huddled around their quarterback, Tommy Maddox, go to the clubhouse leading at halftime 13-7 over the Washington Huskies.
Husky running back. He iced his left knee down during that intermission, during halftime. They put a rubber brace on his knee. As he came out of the tunnel, he tried some cuts, he tried some heavy running. It's still questionable whether he'll be back in the game, but he says he's ready to go.
Must be a bruise then, huh?
Well, Keith, that's what they're saying, is that it was maybe a hyperextension of some sort, but nothing too serious.
Oh, that's good.
You know, sometimes, Keith, when a man gets an injury like that, a little twist or a little twitch in that area, there's fear involved more than anything else. And the first thing you think is, oh, no, is it not blow out my knee or sprain my ankle or something? So I think after going in and sitting around with it, walking around, testing it, a lot of times they come out and find out that it's not as bad as he maybe had feared.
What we can show you here is we've got the brace that Greg Lewis put on, and you can see it's very flimsy.
Oh, yeah.
It's very flexible, so it can't be that tough of an injury, guys.
No, can't be. Huskers will kick off. They kicked off to start the game because they chose the wind and the goal, and now they'll kick off to start the second half. And it's Sean Wills deep for Channing Wild's kick. Bounces over Wills' head, and Sean wisely lets it go through the end zone. And the UCLA Bruins, leading 13-7, will come out to the 20 first down.
And the key matchup we mentioned that Maddox had to play well, and he has 14 of 20. Brown with a big 88-yard run for the touchdown, and Miller is the leading receiver. Defensively, the leaders, Briscoe with 6 tackles and Epman for 5.
Sun Dodger, the Husky mascot. And the Bruins stay in the shotgun. They opened the game this way, and only a few times have they gone away from it. Tommy Maddox back. Lets it go underneath. The pass is caught by Sean Wills. And Wills is stopped right on the 30. It looks like it could be a first down, and I think it is. So very quickly, they get a little more real estate behind them.
Well, they come back out focused just as they went in. You know, Washington won the opening toss, Keith, and decided to defend the goal to our right. That meant that they had to kick off. They also kicked off the second half because UCLA had the choice the second half, and they decided to take the football.
And the Bruins will also have the wind or the open end of the stadium at their back in the fourth quarter. Maddox lets it go deep down the middle. Almost intercepted by Mincy. He's the man who got his hands on it. The intended receiver, Miller, has to defend on the play and does it well. Maddox had hit 9 in a row until that miss.
Here's a look at what happened in the first half. Take a look at UCLA total yardage, 226. They have 113 rushing and 113 passing. That total of 226 is twice as much as Washington.
Maddox up under center now. One of the few times in the ball game. Little quick handoff to Kevin Smith, the fullback. Pick up on second down is about 3. It'll be third down and 7.
UCLA in the first half, the first one possession was an interception. They came back for a touchdown on that 88-yard run, and then they just kind of punted it away for 3 or 4 times and scored on their last possession of the half.
That's Miller underneath. Got away. Come on! Right about midfield. First down, UCLA.
Here's Miller here. The inside receiver is going to break out. He's just going to slide across the center of the field. Watch the defense now as he goes soften up. He finds the opening. Maddox, cool under pressure, just gets him the ball. Maddox is very impressive, Keith, throwing into the wind and a high completion percentage.
Just getting Miller back is a big, big plus for UCLA. Here's a quarterback draw with Maddox for a 2-yard pickup, and that'll do it as Cook and Impman bring him down. But the thing that has impressed me today, Mr. Gracie, is the way a beat-up and battered UCLA offensive front have bought time for Tommy Maddox.
There's no question about that. Lance Zeno, the center, I don't know if he's in there now or not. I don't know. His 67 is in there. That's Gideon. He is playing for Zeno. Zeno was the leader, the only returning offensive lineman from last year. That offensive front is doing a marvelous job.
Ball goes through Maddox's hand, picks it up, shovels it away, saves the loss. Incomplete pass.
Zeno came into the ball game with torn tendons in his left foot. Suffered that several games ago. Gideon, who is a walk-on, does not even have a scholarship, is playing as the starting center for UCLA because of injury. UCLA is also without 2 other offensive linemen. Derek Stevens is not on the trip, as is Fuller, their top 2 right tackles. So deep in their offensive line, they're playing and doing well against the Huskies.
Third down and 8 for the Bruins. That pass is complete, but I think it's a fraction short of the first down. Miller caught it, but the Husky defenders refused to allow him forward progress after he caught it. So it just depends on the mark, and they'll have to measure at 12:19 to go in the third quarter. The rain has been kind to the players. There's been very little rain since the game started. Oh, it was raining in sheets when we came to the ballpark at mid-morning.
We got to go out there and get the ball for this half. Let's go, man.
Do you go for it here?
It's short.
Well, you're on a 4 and 5 season, as Terry Donahue is. You're up here, you're playing well.
You want to go?
I think you do.
Yep, they're going.
If things were reversed and you were fighting for a national championship, maybe not. Maybe you'd play defense, but I think this is a smart move. You got to motivate your players. If you didn't go for it here, you may lose them.
That's Rick Neuheisel standing there, the blonde, alongside Terry Donahue, who is the tutor, one of the tutors of Tommy Maddox. Homer Smith handles the philosophy, and Rick handles the mechanics. Quarterback sneak. He only needed about a foot, and I don't know that he made it. When I look at that linesman's mark, I don't think he made it. He bounced off the stack again, and then tried to roll off the left side. Well, let's see. I don't think he got it, Bob.
Well, the players know. The players know. You saw UCLA defensively going out on the field, and they know. And the right thing for the officials to do, and Gordon Reese, the referee, is to bring it in and measure it, but I didn't see him get any yardage on this play.
No, I didn't either. UCLA defensive unit is on the field. He didn't make it. Nope. Huskies take over.
Take a look at the purple shirts and see if they get across the line, which they do. They get stuffed. Maddox right behind the center, and that battered offensive line gets no movement whatsoever. Hoffman is 54, Richardson is 58. and they get nowhere. Entman, number 90, is not seen in there. There he is at the top.
Huskies come up. Greg Lewis is in the ball game. At tailback, Brunell, the quarterback, dropped the snap, picked it up, gave it to Lewis, and Greg picked up about 3 yards on the carry before Keaton brings him down. So Greg Lewis is back in the ball game. Now he's trying to continue his 100-yard string of games. He had 9 in a row coming in. He's gained 39 yards so far today on 8 carries, but set out most of that second quarter with a bruised knee.
Look at this, no backs in the backfield. A couple years ago, they were calling John James's offense conservative. The thing about here is, Keith, you got to remember that Brunell can run the football. Spread him out. Sometimes he runs it.
That pass to Orlando McKay is good for a first down by a yard to the UCLA side of the field.
Here's what Washington did in the first half. Brunell was only 3 of 12. Lewis had 7 rushes for 36 yards, and Pierce, the tight end, had 2 receptions. And for UCLA defensively, Turner, the free safety, and Darby, the strong safety, led in tackles.
Onward Twebby now is being handled for the moment by Cunningham in the middle. Give it back to Lewis, and Greg picks his way through there for another couple of yards, but that's all. Bruins are still firing. Ale on that tackle. The first half possessions for the Huskies, it was the tango in the first quarter. There were 8 punts by both teams, 5 for the Huskies in the first period. And then you see the bolt Brown that put UCLA out in front, and the Huskies finally had that long drive in that second quarter, 18-play drive. Tie, and UCLA went ahead on the last play and a half. This is Lewis, and he is short of the first down by 2 yards. Run down from behind by Dion Lambert, number 26. Lewis looks all right, but he's short of his first down. That'll bring up 3rd and 2. UCLA Bruins went on 4th and a half a yard and didn't get it. Down on the Washington 40, and now the Huskies trying to respond as UCLA leads here in the third quarter, 13-7. Ball is knocked loose. Brunell, the quarterback, covers it. He had it in the belly of the fullback. It was just an old belly play, and he pulled it out. The ball was slapped loose, and it went toward Lewis, and Brunell finally wound up having to cover it. It's 4th down, and they'll punt. Not very pretty.
It was Onward Twebby, the nose guard, that got the penetration in there and knocked the ball loose out of Brunell. I've been very impressed, Keith, with the defensive line for the Bruins. As we mentioned, the 3 starters are back in L.A., injured, not on the trip.
Well, all the kids playing in the trenches in the white shirts have done a pretty good job on both sides of the ball. They really have. Channing Wiles, way into the air, and he's going to kill it deep. He knocked one out earlier at the 3. This one is out at the 6. At 9:03 to go in the third quarter. The Bruins lead the Huskies 13-7. in Seattle, Washington, with UCLA leading the Huskies with 9:03 to go. Down in Knoxville, Tennessee, Notre Dame has jumped out to a commanding lead over the Volunteers, 34-23. So the Rose Bowl Selection Committee is writhing a bit today. So is the Sugar Bowl Selection Committee. Well, with Tennessee getting blown away. Here's Tommy Maddox on a quarterback draw, losing a yard. From the 7 back to the 6 as the Huskies' Dave Hoffman belted him. Hoffman is from San Jose, California. There are a goodly number of Californians on this Washington ball club, but it is a selective recruiting process now for Don James and his staff because the state of Washington is producing quite a few good players too. Second down and still about 10. Maddox out of the end zone. He runs out of the end zone after the 8. There was just simply nobody available. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, Yvonne Lindell competes with 8 of the world's top tennis stars for $500,000 in a unique event, the tiebreaker system for scoring. Cots presents the tennis shootout. Coverage begins at 4, 3 Central and Pacific tomorrow on ABC Sports. I wonder how Yvonne's golf game is.
He's an avid golfer.
Yes, he is. Third down and 8. Well, Maddox, nobody to throw to, now finally unloads it, and it is off the hands of Brian Brown. Brown would have had a lot of open space in front of him if he could have caught it.
Impressed with Tommy Maddox, Keith, even on that last 2 plays where nothing good happened. He avoided the rush in his own end zone, didn't throw it up for grabs, and gave Brown an opportunity to make a first down.
Bean O'Brien, who broke 2 returns last week for big scoring runs, standing now on the UCLA side of the field, right near midfield. Tyler's punt is away. It's a low liner. He's got some room. He's got a little help back there this time. And he comes up the middle and stops at the 42-41 of UCLA. 7:23 to go. Washington now with good field position and a chance to make a move. The top 10 scores of the day, as you see, that game down the Southwest Conference comes later with Texas and Houston. Houston is playing Eastern Washington from Cheney, which is over by Spokane, a 1AA team, or a Division II team. I guess say 1AA. The Cougars have not played a robust schedule.
The Houston Cougars?
Yes.
But they were playing Texas today.
They are, but I got
next week. Yeah.
Which is the area where Steve Entman comes from, Cheney, Washington. All right, the Huskers with an opportunity. First down, UCLA 42-yard line. Lewis is in there. Brunell's pass is down the middle for Pierce. Boy, I want to tell you, Dion Lambert rode him all the way and got away with it. He was just had him covered like a blanket, and I am not suggesting he fouled him. I mean, he just had him covered.
It's a good football play. UCLA showed man coverage. Brunell checked off, pulled his blockers in, threw the ball down the field, put it on the fingertips. Coverage was there, and the throw was just a tad bit long.
Bean O'Brien leaves the lineup now for Washington as the Huskies go back, break the eye, get into a power position, now put a man in motion, give it to Lewis. That little half a sliding step, that move that is a trademark of his, will move him down to about the 35-yard line before Keaton makes the tackle. And it is probably with a great deal of relief that Steve Bramwell, who's the orthopedist and a former running back for the Huskies, is able to send him back out to play. Because he's the man the Huskies can't afford to lose. 6:40 to go in the third quarter, third down, and at least 4. Brunell looks for some daylight, runs for the marker. He's close. He's a determined, tough kid, isn't he? He's not so little either. He's 6'2", 205. Both the quarterbacks for Washington, big guys. Billy Joe Hobart, who backs him up, is 6'3", 225. He's got arms like a blacksmith.
He does. Well, you see his rushes for the day. Talking with Bob Field, the defensive coordinator for UCLA, he said the biggest thing that the defensive coordinators that he spoke to feared about Brunell was his running ability and his speed.
He doesn't have the first down, I don't think. But do you go? You got to go here.
Oh, yeah, you go for it.
And then now it's put up time for the Huskies.
I mean, you've got the biggest offensive line and the #1 rushing team in the Pac-10 going up against a defensive line that is playing their second unit because of injuries. You got to go for it. You got to run right at them. You don't fool around going around the end. You got size on these guys. Your offensive line average is 289. They average about 270 defensively.
You just got to hunker down behind Kirkland and Kennedy and go, don't you? Brunell probably. He'll take it. Sure he does. That's exactly what he did. Yeah. He got down behind Dean Kirkland 290 and Lincoln Kennedy 315. And boom, first down.
Lincoln Kennedy, 75 to the second in from the top of your screen in the purple jersey. 315, about 6'7". You just blow him off of there. He is a huge, huge man.
Played basketball, too. Loops like a butterfly.
Size 17 shoe or something like that.
First down for the Huskies. And here goes Matt Jones. Pretty good gain of about 6 yards. Here's Jackaroot.
Bob Greasy, you were talking about how big Lincoln Kennedy's shoes are? Well, I've got one right here, and you're right. Size 17 triple E. And I'll tell you what, this guy's a load. Take a look at this. Now, compared to my foot, it's a heck of a lot bigger. If you put both of my feet there, it's like 1.5. The guy's twice as big as I am, but he plays football a lot better than I could ever think of, too.
That'll carry a 15-horse Merc. Brunell almost dropped that snap. Passes away. Incomplete. Intended for Orlando McKay. Defended by Carlton Gray, UCLA.
That was good coverage by Gray. The option fake didn't fool Gray because he wasn't even looking. He was looking at McKay the entire way. When McKay looked back, Gray said that was the ball must be coming, and he got up and could have intercepted it but knocked it away. That play is only good, the option and then the drop back and pass, if the corners have vision back into the backfield.
Huskers getting back into a front situation, too, on 3rd down and 4. At the UCLA 24. This is Lewis. Bruins string him out. Heck of a play by number 43, Matt Darby.
I'm sure Don James is concerned that his team is not playing well, but you know, you think back, Wyke, last week they had a big win, and then they got word after the game that Oregon had beaten UCLA, and that clinched the Rose Bowl bid for them. There has got to be a little bit of a letdown on this team today.
Travis Henson is in the ballgame. He's a freshman from Spokane. His brother Jason Henson kicked over at Washington State, was an All-American last year. This is a 45-yard try. The wind is swirling. Missed it. Never had a chance. Never had a chance. So the Huskies are turned away by a dogged bunch of determined Bruins. TD, second all-time winningest coach in the Pac-10. Who's first? That man. Right now, Terry's trying to gain on Don in this ball game.
You really see two programs going in opposite directions the last couple of years, and it's really, Terry has said the recruiting has not been there. Don James says we've had three of our best recruiting years that we've ever had, and it shows in the speed of the Husky ball club.
First down for the Bruins. They take over at their own 28. There's a little flip, half an option out to Brian Brown. Up to the 32. Well, over the last few years, there's been an awful lot of emphasis on Texas by the UCLA in their recruiting, and I frankly, bluntly question it. The value received when you've got this enormous population in California.
Well, you're right, but there's so many people going into the state of California, and as you mentioned, Washington has gone down there and gotten a lot of players. In fact, they've gotten 38 players out of California on their ball club right now.
From the 32, second down and 6. Kevin Smith not going to get anything out of it. There's nothing like having homegrown folks playing football for you.
Well, no matter where you are, you've got to recruit your own area. That's one of the things that's been a big advantage for Don James here at Washington. He is getting the players in-state to stay in-state, and he hasn't always been able to do that.
And the Texas teams now are finally realizing they've got to get busy and keep their people at home, too. It'll make a lot of difference to them. Third down and 5.5. Maddox pass, incomplete. Hall defending on the play. Scott Miller. Hall may have gotten away with one there. Looked like he had a hand on his shirt tail. Golden Bears. Talking today, aren't they? Penn State headed for a considerable bowl game, too. Bean O'Brien going to get another punt.
In a defensive struggle on a very windy day, the special teams could be the turning factor, and that was a big plus in the favor of the Huskies.
In purple shirts, up they go hard. Tyler gets it away. It's going to bounce around, and no chance for a return for Bryant. So, 38-yard line, the Huskers will take over. The Honda Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by American Honda. Courtney Hawkins, junior flanker, Michigan State University, coming off injury, returning to the lineup. 3 catches today, 38 yards in Michigan State's win against Minnesota. His major criminal justice, grade point 3. Flint, Michigan home. Honda presenting a check for $2,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of Michigan State University.
And when he was hurt earlier in the year, it was a big loss to the Spartans. Good to see that he's back.
Yep. Prime weapon for them. Bean O'Brien is the tailback now. Mark Brunell sets up the throw. Slow developing play. Matt Jones didn't have much of a chance. Brunell took the deep drop, looked across the field, and finally lobbed it to him. And by that time, the Bruins were jumping on it. Time remaining in the third quarter, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Well, look at Alabama.
Second down, 6 yards to go for the Huskies.
Arkansas had a terrible year. Well, the Ponies got close to Rice. Not quite. Second down, 6. That's Bryant. Now it's Jones. And Jones will have a first down. Matt Jones is a redshirt freshman from Portland, Oregon. Rosine Keaton brought it down. Kind of fun for me to come back up here after having lived here for 10 years. The public address announcer, for example, here at Husky Stadium, Bob, is a fellow named Lou Gellerman, who was a member of the 1958 rowing team here. They went off to the Soviet Union. First American athletes to go there. Old friends and faces show up.
Were you on the rowing team?
No. I just went along to watch.
Oh, I see.
Greg Lewis back in. Try to run a reverse. With Bryant coming off a wing position. And there's nothing there. So the Husky offense has not been very productive so far today. We're winding down toward a minute to play in quarter number 3.
Well, UCLA has done what they wanted, and that is shut down the running game and force Brunell to beat him through the air. Brunell this year has always had that running game to rely on.
Lets it go. Orlando McKay, incomplete. That is a very good defensive play by Damian Lyons, number 36.
There's a strength of this defense for UCLA. It's got to be their secondary. Lyons splits time at the left corner with Gray. The ball was a tad bit further. It could have been some good things for Washington, but Lyons is there to knock it down. He gets hit just as he's throwing it. That's 40 is Pfeiffer on the left side, and Keaton, number 55, is right there also.
Oh, it is 3rd and 12. That's your first down. That may be more. Orlando McKay, first and goal at the 2.
Set up and throw this ball with some authority. You see the defensive backs let him run past him. That means it's zone coverage. In front of Darby, a line drive of a throw. McKay has the speed, gets inside the 5-yard line, 47 yards.
So the Huskies finally hook up on a big play, and Notre Dame has beaten Tennessee by 5. It was a track meet, and the Irish won it. First and goal from just inside the 4-yard line. Pitch it back to Bino Bryant. Touchdown. Bryant sticks it in the end zone. And Travis Hansen will try to give Washington its first lead of the day. Husky with just 12 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter.
From behind the defense, it's going to be a toss to the left side. You don't want to allow any penetration. Just give your running back an opportunity to get wide, stretch the defense, get your shoulders square, and just make a plunge for the end zone. And Bino Bryant was big enough to get it in.
With 315 pounds, 290 pounds, and 280 pounds leading that student body right. I mean, that ain't the student body, that's the administration, too.
Washington has been blowing everybody out for the last 5 or 6 ball games, Keith. The margin of victory has been way up there. And you just cannot continue to do that each and every week. They had a big emotional win last week. They found out they were going to the Rose Bowl. It was an issue that was settled last week. And there is no question that they're not playing with as much enthusiasm. They're not playing as well as they played. Certainly UCLA has come up here to give them a good game and are very impressive. But you just can't be up for every game.
Well, earlier today, the Ohio State Buckeyes surprised Iowa in Iowa City, 27-26. UCLA had led up until just a moment ago throughout this entire ball game.
I think probably Washington and Iowa were both thinking more about the Rose Bowl than they were their opponents coming up this week.
Don Wills lets the ball drift through the end zone and trickle out of bounds, and we'll go to New York and Roger Quest.
Very much, Keith. A late touchdown. They recovered an onside kick. Andy Kelly's got him at the 20. Less than a minute to go. They trail by 5, but it's intercepted. Rod Smith picks off his second pass in the final 5 minutes, and Notre Dame comes up big in Knoxville, 34-29. They're at home next week against Penn State. Keith?
And Washington, if they can continue their momentum now and win this game, and UCLA will they still be second in the poll? They're not going to be first. As a little drop-off pass to Sean Wills. And Wills is picking up some real estate here as he comes all the way out to the 40-yard line. The Bruins have not conceded yet. 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Now they'll let the time run out. We'll return with a final quarter of action between UCLA and Washington after this message of the word from our ABC station. Washington lead, going to the final quarter of play. UCLA's ball. First down and 10 at their own 40. Tommy Maddox throws. Ball is slapped loose, rolling around. Is it a catch? It is an incomplete forward pass. This is what has happened. First quarter, Brian Brown. Draw play out of the shotgun formation right up the middle, 88-yard touchdown. Mark Brunell walked it in from a yard out for the Huskies. 18 plays to tie it at 7, and then UCLA in the closing play of the half, a pass to Corwin Anthony by Maddox, 13-7. That's the halftime score, and Washington in the closing seconds of the third period getting the lead for the first time today, 14-13. Washington, the number 2 ranked team in the country. Struggling, fighting for its life. Goes goal now. And a pass lofted by Sean Littell by Maddox, and a penalty flag is thrown. Might very well be against William Doctor defending on the play. That flag was thrown a goodly ways across the field by one of the officials far away from La Chapelle. It very well could have involved somebody else, and quite possibly Scott Miller.
Defensive holding, automatic first down.
I don't believe it was on La Chapelle. I don't think it was on the man covering La Chapelle. I think it was somewhere else.
Holding, defense, automatic first down.
In college ball, they don't announce to the public who the foul was on, but a lot of times when you saw the official go over to the coach, they'll tell the coach who it was on.
Yeah. First down at the 50, midfield for the Bruins. They trail by a point, 14-13. Just starting the fourth quarter. Tommy Maddox got a man wide open. The Husky secondary growing a little permissive here early on. The attacking philosophy for the moment abandoned by Washington. La Chapelle, a 6'3" sophomore from Napa, made that reception for the Bruins.
Very good point, Keith. You mentioned the attacking philosophy of the Huskies. We came into the ball game with a key matchup. That was Maddox against the attacking Fraley and the Husky defense. Maddox is winning that battle right now. They have backed off.
That's La Chapelle shaken up and out of the ball game. Second down and a half a yard for a first down. Looks like Brian Brown will have it for the Bruins.
Brian Brown, the ball
Marking
carrier.
right on the 40, and if they do, that'll be good enough.
Richardson's the first Husky there. Gets the first down.
Third quarter stats, the total plays are even at 51. First downs are about the same. Rushing yards about the same. Time of possession at the bottom is the same. The UCLA with a little bit more total yardage, almost 90 yards.
First down. They've been in the shotgun most of the day. Maddox pass. Just in time. Drilled right to the numbers of Paul Richardson. And it's another first down for the UCLA Bruins. Now, Don James and his defensive coordinator, Jim Lambright, have got to be concerned because the Bruins are finding open people.
La Chapelle, the wide receiver for UCLA, just had the wind knocked out. He'll be back. I continue to be impressed with this Maddox kid, Keith.
Oh, he's dandy. Wills is going to lose a half a yard, maybe a whole yard. If they don't get him out of there pretty quick, he may have to eat the ball.
Well, since that first quarter run of 88 yards by Brown, UCLA has not been able to run against that Husky defense.
Lets it go, intended for Miller. Touchdown, UCLA! Scott Miller is tough. He beats Charles Mincy. Simultaneous possession goes to the offense.
Mincy was right on him. The throw was right there. It was one-on-one. Everybody else was out of the play. He had a lot going for him with Miller. Miller has come back from that injury and has made a lot of big plays this year.
He's caught 6 balls for 88 yards, including that one for the touchdown. Bruins are back to the lead, and they're going for 2.
They'll go for 2.
Forgot the snap count. It's Brown. He's short.
It took too much time. They're going to get to try it again.
Penalty flag on the goal line. Too much time.
They'll move it back, and they'll have to go back to throwing, which is what they've done well today anyway. They have not run well.
See, there's no play. No play there, so they'll get their second try.
UCLA ran for 123 yards in the first quarter, a -10 in the second quarter, and 13 yards here in the third quarter. So their run production is really reduced as the game has gone on.
Penalty occurred before the play started.
Now they've got to kick. Daloiso is in.
Yeah.
They're going to try to make it a 20-14 game.
Lucille will kick.
Missed it. Maddox is beefing about it. He thought it was inside the upright. Will they wave it off? No good.
Let's go back to the last extra point. Watch the kicker and the holder as the ball goes right over the crossbar. Watch how quickly they jump up, trying to sell the fact that it's good. Come on, give it to me. I think it's in. He knew it was close. You know, if it's good right down the middle, they just shake hands. But if it's iffy, they try to throw their arms up as if it's going to be a consensus.
Tommy Smith on the return. Penalty flag goes down. Smith fights his way out to the 27. And you may have a call coming up against the Huskies right here. How about a clip? 71,925 tickets sold. I don't think that many folks came today because there were an awful lot of the seats at the very end of the open portion of the stadium and down low that were never occupied.
Flipping by the receiving team during the run back. Penalized half the distance to the goal line. 1st and 10.
But the crowd of 71,925 keeps the Washington attendance this year right around the 70,000 average. And that ain't bad. You know, one of the remarkable relationships as you see the drive here, and the key, of course, is Maddox, between amateur sport and professional sport rests between the Huskies and the Supersonics and the Seattle Seahawks. It really is one of the most amicable relationships in any city that I know of. This is Bino Bryant. Well, I think the fact that Bryant is in the ball game right now may tell us that Greg Lewis does indeed have a stiff leg, doesn't he?
Well, he's not himself, and that's for sure. Although Bryant has played in the past in the fourth quarter, it's only when they were way ahead. He certainly does have the speed, but Bryant certainly is not up to full health in the fourth quarter.
Second down and 8. Brunel still got it. Fumble. UCLA ball. They knocked the ball away from Brunel's control, and the Bruins cover it. Matt Derby, 43. The man off the ground with the football in his clutches. It's been a tough day for number 11.
Brunel, everybody is covered. Now, when you start running up inside, you've got to protect the football. The ball bounces around Darby, 43. It says, I'll take it. You know, Keith, it's very tough to play with a redshirt freshman quarterback and not go throughout the season with somebody putting the pressure on him and forcing him to beat you. That's happening here today.
Ball is just inside the 15. First down, UCLA. This is Brian Brown at a crease. A hard run by Brown puts the ball inside the 4. First and goal, UCLA. Brown has run for 111 yards.
Good block on the outside that time by Scott Miller, the wide receiver that kept the corner off of Brian Brown.
Brown again. Boy, does he get planted that time. At the bottom, Tyrone Rogers, and at the top, Dave Hoffman.
Rogers, number 57, is a transfer from Oklahoma. Outstanding player down in California and splitting time at nose tackle with John Cook.
Brown is the deep man. Second and goal from the 5. Timeout. Maddox didn't have what he wanted. Didn't want to waste opportunity.
Let's throw a party with your birthday money. I'm putting it into a MetLife State Street mutual fund. Balloons, a few friends, your big sister.
Seconds to play in the football game. UCLA, as you see, leading by 5. They own the football. Second down and goal at the Washington 5-yard line. They stick it in the end zone here and able to make it a 26-14 lead over the second-ranked Huskies. It'll make that mountain pretty high for a Washington offense that has not done much today. Maddox keeps it, bootlegs it, throws it, incomplete. Huskies covered that well.
That's good fool. That's good coaching. And a smart play by Maddox. They haven't run against this team since the first quarter. They're lined up and says, all right, let's try this play-action pass. If it's not there, look at this one guy, and if he's not there, put it out of the end zone, and he did exactly that. Don't try to make something that's not there. Don't take a big loss or
Miller
mistake.
comes down to the bottom of the screen there. He and Mincy now are one-on-one down at the bottom of the picture. Third and goal. They pitch it to Brian Brown, and Brown is down at the 4. And Deloiso will surely get a call here. Try to give UCLA an 8-point lead.
Yeah, that was exactly right, Keith. Conservative, didn't want to do anything silly. Make sure we get at least 3 points to go up by 8 points.
blocked, but it's good. Dana Hall, number 5, came in and got a piece of it. The ball had an unusual arc and twist to it as it went over the goalpost spinning, but it was between the uprights.
Number 5 coming around from the side. They get some penetration up the middle. I don't know if Hall got it or maybe somebody up the middle. Yeah, he could have gotten it there because there were some guys coming up. Take a look from behind. Big gaping hole there for... Yeah, I think you're right, Keith. I think Hall got around from the side, but huge hole in the center of the line.
He almost turned it into a spiral.
It wasn't spinning the way it should have been, but it went through.
And it's an 8-point lead. UCLA 22, Washington 14. Out of the end zone. Washington now will have to work into the wind. It's a swirling wind, but they've got to face into it. Next Saturday on ABC Sports, world's top tennis stars compete in the final showcase of the year. They're picked number 1, the ATP Tour World Championship. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Then live at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Greg Norman hosts the top golfers at the RMCC Invitational next Saturday here on ABC Sports. First down, Huskies at their 20, trailing by 8. This is Pete O'Brien. And Bryant first to the 34. A step away from scoring.
There's number 49, Walker, right in the middle of that defensive line. He's a true freshman. We mentioned the defensive line home for LA, all with injuries. He's playing for Shalinsky. Brian Kelly is also out. And Tulio Tuala, the nose tackle, also not here.
Tulio plays for that other person.
Yeah.
Just off the hands of McKay. Defending Damian Lyon. That's the second really good play that Lyons has made against McKay.
Strength, as I say it again, defensively is in the secondary, but very impressive the way those young kids in the defensive line have played today for UCLA.
Brunel is 6 of 19 for a mere 86 yards. The hands of Mario Bailey.
That's just good coverage in the secondary. UCLA playing very tough defense.
9:07 to go in the ball game. Earlier today, Iowa in the catbird seat in the Big Ten chase to the Rose Bowl, beaten by Ohio State. Washington has locked the Rose Bowl in the Pac-10. They're losing by 8 with 9 minutes to play. 3rd and 10. That's got to be interference. Well, I tell you, Dion Lambert was riding Mario Bailey like he was the neighborhood burro and got away with it.
Take a look. Number 26 is Lambert. Now,
that's not interference?
Well, he said maybe he thought the ball wasn't catchable, but there certainly was interference if they ruled it was catchable.
I can't know that.
That's a judgment call there.
Read that man's mind.
Yeah, that's right. If he wasn't interfered with, maybe he could have jumped up and caught the ball.
That's right. 4th down. Not a very good kick by Channing Wiles either. So it does take a Husky roll and rolls down to the 25-yard line. division of today's game. We'll choose from each team, and for the 20th year, Chevrolet Scholarship Program will donate $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of each of the universities.
Here's what the top 10 has done today. Notre Dame won.
At the moment concerning our game out in Seattle between UCLA and Washington. We'll be getting back there as soon as we can. But right now, let's run you through some scores, get you caught up on what's happened in this Saturday of college football. First of all, top-ranked Notre Dame against Tennessee. The final in Knoxville, 97,123. 34-29, the final. 6 lead changes in this game. Interesting contest at the end as Andy Kelly threw a touchdown pass. Tennessee recovered the onside kick and consequently had the ball. They were driving, but Rod Smith with the interception, his second in the final 5 minutes. Now, 34-29 the final there. The second-ranked team in the nation, Washington, playing UCLA. And let's go back to Seattle and Keith Jackson. Keith?
All right, Roger, thanks for filling the hole as we get our picture back. UCLA's ball, 3rd down and 5. Tommy Maddox lost it downfield. That's too long. Incomplete. Wind got underneath it. He wanted to put some air under it, but not that much. And Richardson couldn't run it down, and the Bruins will now punt. So the Husky defense does its job.
They do. Washington is 8 points down with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. There's plenty of time for an offense that came into the ballgame averaging 35 points.
Bino Bryant has had no chance to break any kind of a run today. Passed high to Kyler. Poor kick by Kyler, but he's got the kind of action on the ball to give it a UCLA roll, and Bryant, trying to cut back into the crease, will go down at the 25-yard line. It's a 42-yard punt and a 3-yard return. It's interesting, you know, what might have been in this ball game if we had played this game today on real Mother Earth. Both punters' averages would be right in the tank. I mean, half of the distance they have had on their punts today has been rolled.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the wind has really affected the punting. They've not been able to get the ball up going either way, except for the one punt earlier in the ball game. And we have had a lot of punts.
First down for the Huskies from the 26, let's call it. Brunell drops it off, and Bino Bryant drops the ball. Looking to run before he had the handle.
Talking with Terry Donahue last night about the Huskies, he said this is the most dominating team he has ever seen in his 15 years in the Pac-10, talking about the Washington Huskies.
Smoke screen. Ball is fumbled again, rolling around, and the Huskies will cover it. My goodness. Pierce, the tight end, jumped on it and saved it. Bryant almost gave that thing away. Got to get a handle on it, son, before you can run with that thing.
It's been a long time since the Huskies have been in a situation like this. Most of their games have been over before the end of the 3rd quarter. They have not been have to play hard in the 4th quarter. Normally the subs are in there at this point. 6 games ago they lost to Colorado in Colorado.
And should have won that one because they dropped the ball in the end zone there. Brunell goes big with it. And it is incomplete, intended for McKay and spoiled by Carlton Gray. And the Huskies will have to punt.
It's just simply good defense by Gray. The ball is there. The coverage is there. Washington has tried the takeoff pattern several times a day, and the coverage has been there every time.
Gray is one of the Ohioans that the Buckeyes at Ohio State really wanted as he came west. Channing Wiles to punt. Bearcats back on the 38-yard line by Scott Miller. Tomorrow ABC Sports, Yvonne Lendl competes with 8 of the world's top tennis stars for $500,000 in a very unique event with a tiebreaker system for scoring. Topps presents the Tennis Shootout. Coverage 4, 3 Central and Pacific tomorrow. ABC Sports. It is now crunch time for Washington. UCLA first down, their 38-yard line. They lead by 8 points, trying for one of the big upsets of the football season. This has been a season rife with upsets. Upman, Kevin Smith, the fullback, straight ahead, 3 yards. 6 minutes to play in a ball game.
It seems as though anybody that gets near the top of the polls, whether they be number 1 or 2, are going to get knocked off. Last Saturday, several of the top teams in the top 5 or 6 were knocked off, allowing Notre Dame to move up to 1 and Washington to move up to 2. Iowa gets beat after moving up to 5. Washington is in serious trouble of getting beaten here today.
Off to Smith, trying to get outside, can't do it. That's a very good play by number 57 for the Washington Huskies, Tyrone Rogers.
Loss of 3 yards.
That is the 102nd tackle this season for a loss by the Washington defenders. That's a bunch. It is 3rd and 9 now for UCLA. So once again, the Washington defense trying to do its job. So it has surrendered 22 points today. Maddox off the fingertips of La Chapelle, incomplete. And the Bruins will have to punt.
La Chapelle.
As the wind again comes up and it grows dark. Jackaroop's going to get wet.
But Donahue and his staff has really put together a nice game plan for this ball game.
It's been a brilliant piece of coaching.
Oh, no question.
Kick is away. They got some pressure on it. Here's Bryant, fair catching. He fumbled twice on the last possession. This time he wanted to make sure he had a handle, and he took it at the 28, where the Huskies will have it first down. There's your game summary. And the Husky quarterback, Brunel, has had a very poor day. Maddox, on the other hand, has had a very good day. Still only 8 points at 4 minutes and 36 seconds to play. Brunel's got Pierce down the middle, wide open, didn't see it. He had Pierce available for at least a 20-25-yard pickup and didn't see it. Went instead for the short reception to Mario Bailey. Second down and 6. Now you get Bailey, McKay, both to the same side. Thrown to McKay, and he's to the 40, and that's good for a first down. The wind is swirling around.
It's been blowing all game, and that's why it's really been a sloppy game. The punting has not been good. That's why Maddox has played so well, that I feel, is because with a howling, swirling wind, he has still gotten the ball there in a high percentage at that.
they hitch up their britches and gut it out here. First down with 3 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the ball game. Their lofty national ranking at stake. They have never been number one. That pass almost intercepted. Defending on the play was Damian Lyons.
Kid has made a ton of good plays today. Lyons, a senior, was suspended last year from the ball club for disciplinary reasons and was allowed back on the ball club and has really won a starting job along with Carlton Gray. He and Gray started that position, play half the time.
Second down and 10. Lets it go. That's no good. Thrown too far. Let's go to Jack Arute and a fellow named Don Makita.
And Keith, as you said at the top of the show, he's one of the men that's probably responsible for giving credibility to Pac-10 football. Back in 1960, you scored a touchdown in that convincing win that the Huskies had over Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl. What's your greatest moment?
Probably the Washington State game.
And that's the story where you played real hurt.
Yeah, I got cut up pretty bad, but it was more than that because it was just a great football game where the intensity was there and we won it 8-7, and the comradeship and everything on both sides was just excellent.
And Keith, you know the story there. He played with a bone practically sticking out the side of his calf. He scored a 2-point conversion, but he's not too happy today because his Huskies aren't on top.
Holding,
well,
offense,
if you could take his courage and inject the team with it, it wouldn't be an issue. I did that game, and Makita went in the end zone and caught a 2-point conversion from Bob Slarette for an 8-7 win over Washington State to send them on to the Rose Bowl. He is a tough guy. Second down and 20. Brunell's pass is too high. He continues to misfire. Mario Bailey, the intended receiver. Brunell is getting a little bit of a lesson in poise, I think, today. He's 8 out of 27 for 98 yards. And, of course, what you see there, scores and highlights, will be time permitting.
It's a frustrating day for Brunell. Well, he works out in this weather all the time. They practice up here, of course.
It is now raining. Brunell's pass deflected, incomplete. He's been high and wide much of the day.
I said early in the ball game that the wind is worse than the rain or the cold. James is frustrated. His running game has been taken away from him, and Terry Donahue, an outstanding job that he has done in bringing his team up here. Last week at Oregon, a tough loss for Donahue and the Bruins. Lost a tough one to Oregon late in the ball game, and another one on the road here today. Looks like they may come out of it with a win.
And you were talking to him, and he was poor-mouthing last night.
Hell yeah,
awful, wasn't he?
Well, you know, he's had a lot of injuries, and he has had some, but he's rebuilding this program.
Low snap. Channing Wiles handles it, gets it away, and a fair catch is called and dropped. And the Huskies get the ball. Here it goes. It could be. It is. Washington's ball. First down at the 37-yard line. It is not a touchdown. Jay Berry picked it up. You cannot advance it. You cannot advance it.
Some up. Some up. You can't advance them up.
You can't advance them up. And it'll be Washington ball.
By the receiving team, the ball is placed where the kicking team recovered the ball. It'll be 1st and 10.
I waited, though, to make sure that the man called it him up before it happened.
The wind that we've been talking about made it tough for Miller to handle this punt, although he's been handling them well all day.
Now the Huskies have a chance. They're looking at tie right now. Draw play, Dean O'Brien. About 3, maybe 4. Clock running right along. 3:10 to play. Timeouts remaining. Washington should have 3. That's correct. Yes, it is. Brunell back to throw. Goes to the sidelines, and again he's high and wide. Intended for Orlando McKay. I would say half of his passes today have been high.
Yeah, and most of them going into the wind, you're going to throw high. It is very tough for a young quarterback, and James, being a quarterback himself, knows what this young man is going through. That's why it's really tough to play a tough schedule like the Huskies play and be putting it. He hasn't been put in a situation like this all year where he has to come back and win the game.
Well, he did at Colorado. Did.
But he had the passes there. They just didn't catch it.
He's got a man and can't hit him. He had Mario Bailey.
That was good enough pass to catch right there.
Yep, Bailey got one hand on it.
Yeah.
That was where Mario had to sell out his body to try to make that catch. He may not have seen it in time. There it is.
Now you can't throw him much better than this.
No, that's high. That's high.
A tad bit high. If he would have kept running and stopped slowing up a little bit, I think he would have had it. But 4th and 5 is the key point now.
They had a big opportunity here, and it's just about frittered away.
Blitz.
He lets it go. He's got a chance. It is touchdown, Huskies. This time Bailey caught it.
Watch the inside linebackers. They're going to blitz. These men come up to cover the backs. Here's Bailey. He's going to go downfield. He'll be covered. Brunel will buy some time with the blitz. He's covered downfield. Brunel just throws it up anyway. He gets loose and makes a big play.
Defender falling down. And now Washington, to tie, will have to go
Penalty
for
will be
2.
assessed on the kickoff.
There's a penalty, an interference call against the UCLA defender. That'll be marked off on the kickoff.
Will go for 2.
2 minutes and 36 seconds to play in the game. Washington with 3 timeouts.
From 32-yard out for the
Or is it time's out?
All I know is you go for 2 points here, and if you don't make it, you got 3 timeouts to go. That's a tough call. That's tough for Terry Donahue and the Bruins. They played so well.
The pass interference on the defense. Washington has elected to take the penalty on the extra point. Therefore, we'll penalize half the distance to the goal line. Washington will have the ball on the 1.5.
You get the choice.
Oh, they have your choice, and the Huskies say, wait a minute. Somebody on the sideline knew the rules, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, you have the choice.
They called the marker.
And if you're going to kick it, obviously you don't need it. But if you're going for 2...
Vito Bryant is the deep back. It's 1.5 yards. Option play, Brunel, yes! Scores time. You talk about dodging a bullet.
Brunel has not been throwing well, but he can run it in. And that is tough defense by UCLA. Turner is there. He just barely gets the ball across the goal line, and it is a tie ball game. 2 minutes. About 2 minutes and 30 seconds to play. Take another look at it. Just barely gets across.
Barely.
Yep. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. This is Bailey going against Lambert. Now Lambert's got him covered. About this time he's scrambling around back there. He just throws it up for grabs. Lambert knows he's beaten. Now he says, maybe I better try and tackle him just in case. And he got it a yard and a half closer to the goal line, and they get the 2-point conversion.
Here, I would think Washington goes ahead and belts it just as far as they can and send that defensive unit in and sell out with 2 minutes and 36 seconds and 3 timeouts remaining.
Exactly. You've got a top defense. You got to play, kick it deep, let them play defense.
Young Travis Henson may become a personality in this ball game before it is done. Channing Wiles handles the kickoffs, but it's Henson who kicks the field goals. That ball is kicked away from the UCLA receiver Brown, and it'll come back to the 20, first down.
Too much time left, Keith, to onside kick. Too many timeouts. If you do onside kick and don't get it, the other team is in great field position to move it down.
Well, the crowd had been relatively quiet much of the day because UCLA has led much of the day. But now they're about to peel the paint off the Georgia. Down and out of bounds up at the 37-yard line. Tommy Maddox.
Terry Donahue last night said that this kid is a big-time player. He really likes Tommy Maddox. Cool under fire.
Is away. Mincy is the only man close to it. The receiver was bumped and stopped running, Scott Miller. Time remaining 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It is second down. That was a big run by Maddox to get that first down. Woof. Incomplete. One of the Huskies had a dive at it. Couldn't come up with it.
It was Briscoe, it looked like.
Yep, Briscoe it was.
Yeah.
28. Third and 10. No, it is not. Right through the hands of a Husky defender. Briscoe again looked like he had a shot to pick it off and couldn't quite get to it. Oh, shaken up.
Watch Briscoe right here. Let's go ahead and run it. Now watch as this play develops. He's going to slide to the right side. Now watch him come back to the left. Almost. Obviously, Maddox didn't see him.
Rain coming down now. It's been raining for quite the last 15 minutes or so. UCLA punt. Huskers are going to get it back. You've got 2:10 to play. They've got 3 timeouts. Kick is away at the spinner, and it's kicked away from Bean O'Brien. It goes straight sideways and hits the out-of-bounds marker right about the 30-yard line. So the Washington Huskies are 70 yards and 20 inches away from the goal line, but if they can get that thing down inside the 30-yard line, Travis Henson has got the kind of a leg that gives them a shot at it.
The incomplete passes that the Bruins were through really helped Washington in stopping the clock. Of course, UCLA was trying to win the ball game, and you know, in these types of situations, Keith, it's almost like sudden death, and it's not necessarily who has possession, but where the ball is. And the ball is in the Washington end. If they have a fumble or an interception, UCLA has a big advantage.
Well, they certainly have had themselves a riotous, glorious finish. We had one earlier today with Ohio State upsetting Iowa. On first down, Brunell pumps it, sets up a screen for Bino Bryant. He got one block. No, it is Matt Jones. He got one block, number 22. And he needed just a little bit of a nudge from a second man and couldn't get it. So there's a pickup of close to 8 yards. Make it 7, second down and 3. And it's dark. It's hard to see. Brunell with a deep drop, goes to the sideline. It's intercepted. He threw it high and wide one fatal time. He had a man on the sideline short for the first down. He elected to go deep, and Eric Turner picks it off.
Eric Turner, the top of your screen, top left. Watch him as he drifts back. Brunell looks that way all the way. You saw Turner's feet. The ball is overthrown. And Eric Turner comes up with a big interception, his 5th of the year, and his 14th in his career.
He had Darius Turner, Brunell did, for the first down, and just threw it for the other man.
Turner has had an outstanding career at UCLA, Keith.
That is Brunell's first interception, and it breaks his string at 129 attempts. Washington still has 3 timeouts. Ball is near the 50-yard line. 1:27 to play. Maddox with the ball, running around, gets loose, throws. It's good for a first down for UCLA. Caught by LaChapelle inside the 30, and clock stops at 1:15. 5 seconds here for our ABC stations to identify themselves. So a 22-22 tie between the struggling UCLA Bruins at 4 and 5. The number 2 ranked Washington Huskies at 8 and 1. And right now the Bruins have a chance to win this ball game. 1 minute to play. This is Brian Brown to about the 25-yard line.
Now here,
Brad Dalowiso is loosening the limb.
Who calls timeout here? Does UCLA call timeout? They're not calling. Does Washington call the timeouts? They have 3.
Yeah.
Neither team is calling timeouts. Washington doesn't want to help them. Whoever's the most confident should call it.
Maddox. He goes down right about the line of scrimmage. The 25-yard line. There's your timeout with 19 seconds to play. 19 seconds. UCLA spent that timeout. They have 1 remaining. It is 3rd down and 7. They're going to run 1 more play before they spend the last timeout and kick it.
Well, this is a long field goal. This is going to be 42 yards if they don't gain any yards from here.
They got the wind. The wind will help. If there is any wind to impact it, it'll help it. Underneath, Maddox threw a bad pass. Tommy knew it. The minute he threw the ball, he knew it done wrong. He had too much snap on it. It bounced right in front of his receiver, and the receiver was available. But now Dalowiso's got to crank it up. A chance for the Bruins to win. He has made a 22-yarder. This will be 43 yards. It's a season-making kick right here. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is long enough. It is good. The UCLA Bruins, with just 10 seconds to play in the ball game, have gone to a 3-point lead, 25-22 over the Washington Huskies.
Tough, gritty performance by the UCLA Bruins.
It's a foundation to build from for next year. And should shut up the Donahue critics, huh?
Well, Donahue has had a tough go of it the last couple of years, but he's had too many good years to find something wrong with him after he's had a down year. He admitted that his problem has been recruiting. He made some mistakes in recruiting. He's had some shifts in his coaching staff. That is all settled down now. He's very happy with his staff. A big win. If they continue to lead, is be a tough loss for Don James and his crew.
Todd Barry, our spotter, Dave Burns, and our statistician today. Bob Goodrich, our producer, Larry Kam, our director, Dave Kibbiak, our associate director, Jane Ressler, our associate producer, and our executive producer, sitting in front of the fire with warm feet, Jeffrey Mason. Gary Larkins, our TD. All right, now. 10 seconds. All you can do if you're the Huskies is you pray for a miracle. That's all. You just simply have to hope. UCLA sideline wants a timeout, so they spend it. 10 seconds. Time for a little bit of action. All right, next Saturday we've got regional action for you in our presentation of college football. You'll see some of you in the Big Ten. Iowa, must-win situation for them against Purdue next week. They also have to beat Minnesota in the final game on the road to lock the Rose Bowl. Out west, it'll be the USC Trojans and the UCLA Bruins in their annual. And I think UCLA just sent the Trojans a message today. We ain't going to be easy. High kickoff, hanging up there, hanging up there, hanging up there, taken by Bryant, Dino Bryant. And Bryant fights his way back to the 30, and there the clock stops with 3 seconds to play. 3 seconds remaining. Time for one more Husky try.
UCLA's Graduate School of Architecture and Urban.
All right, if you're a Husky loyal, hold your breath. Same thing. Brunel spins a timeout. 3 seconds. He saw something he didn't like. He called time, and he goes to the sidelines. The Huskies had 3 to spend, and he just spent 1 of them. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, Yvonne Lendl competes with 8 of the world's top tennis stars for $500,000 in a unique event with a tiebreaker system for scoring. Tops presenting the tennis shootout. Coverage at 4, 3 Central and Pacific tomorrow on ABC Sports. And next Saturday, regional action for you at 3:30 Eastern Time. Southern California and UCLA, if the score stays the same. And Iowa at home with the Purdue Boilermakers. If another bolt of lightning comes searing out of the leaden sky, then we don't know where we'll go. But if UCLA wins this game, or it finishes in a tie, the 2 games I just mentioned will be the ones we'll cover for you on a regional basis. Last play. Time run out. Brunel lets it go. It will be intercepted by the UCLA Bruins. The game is over. A season-making win for UCLA, 25-22 over Washington. The Chevrolet most valuable players are Tommy Maddox, 23 out of 41, 239 yards and 2 touchdowns. Eric Briscoe for Washington, the secondary man with 11 tackles in the ball game. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students. Your final again, UCLA 25, Washington 22. We hope you enjoyed it.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports, Yvonne Lendl competes with 8 of the world's top tennis stars for $500,000 in total prize money in a unique tie-break-only format. TOTS presents the Tennis Shootout. ABC's College Football has been brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today. By UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight delivery. By the Upjohn Company, if you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by Pert Plus, shampoo plus conditioner in one bottle. One step to great-looking hair. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
I don't know what you're talking about, officer. I don't have any football.
Can't check that bag, sir.
Second down and 10. Texas shows blitz. Reed pitches back to Tostin. Gets up over the 15 to the 18-yard line. Will be short of the first down. Pick up a 5 on the play. Be 3rd down and 5. Bobineau and Foster on the stop. Seggs, did you find the bone?
Oh, yes, I did. We know that Aaron Ross is one of the hardest hitters in college football, but he does have that softer side. Here's the stanza from I Love You by Aaron Ross to Sonia Richards. I love the way you touch me, always sending chills down my spine. I love that you are with me and glad that you are mine.
Oh, boy. Glad you stopped there. Keith Tostin out of the backfield, 9:33 to play in the ball game. Here comes the blitz from right up the middle. Reed reads it well. Bowman up over the 30 to the 34-yard line.
He is strong, isn't he?
Oh, boy, pickup of 16 on the play. He did that himself. For Bowman, that's reception number 5 tonight.
He is strong, working his way inside. Ball sharply delivered. Look at that, crisply thrown. Now watch Bowman upfield the whole way. See the vision and look at the power. He tries to run through Bobineau. Derry trying to help out Killebrew there. Takes 3 linebackers to get him down.
I think that's the biggest gain of the second half for this Oklahoma State offense. Now Reed rolling by some time, still has some time, and he's just going to throw this one up in the stands again. I've never seen that twice.
That was well covered by Terrell Brown downfield. The route he wanted was all the way downfield against Terrell Brown. It wasn't even close to being available. And so once again, Bobby Reed shows off his arm.
And I think one of our camera guys is trying to get up in the stands to find out who got it.
Well, we saw Mike Holder, the AD here for Oklahoma State. He may talk to Bobby Reed because, you know, footballs aren't, exactly
They're not cheap.
Free.
You have to go back to Mr. Pickens.
Throw it out of bounds, but throw it where we can get it back.
And that brings up a second down and 10. Less than 9 play in the ball game. Reed looking for the option. This time he keeps it. They'll mark him down at the 44-yard line. It'll be very close to the first down. I think he may have gotten it.
I think he did. I think he crossed the line.
Only 78 yards rushing prior to that play for Oklahoma State. You said they needed 150 in order to be in this ball game.
Yeah, I thought 150 against this rush defense of Texas. Remember, Oklahoma State came into the game averaging 211. So I thought 150 against a team that only gives up 41 would be a terrific number, because then they would have some time of possession, and then they would have been working the ball downfield on offense. Thus far, it hasn't happened the way they've wanted it to.
28 yards rushing in the second half for the Cowboys.
Don't forget how long Texas has had